Well, the mainstream media having a meltdown over President Trump's first 100 days in office. Take a look at some of the headlines. Here's one: Trump's first 100 days, a big failure and a new low in the polls. That's Washington Post. Another one: worst 100 days we've ever seen from Raw Story. Here's another one: Trump's foreign policy, 100 days of global bafflement. That's Politico. And finally, this is the killer: 100 days of horror. Horror from the New York Times. Let's bring in today's political panel for reaction. Rachel Campos-Duffy, a Fox News contributor, and Brad Woodhouse, a former communications director for the Democratic National Committee. Rachel, in light of the fact that we are making serious movements on the tax front, we're going to hear more about that tomorrow. In light of the fact that it looks like health reform is not dead, you look at what happened with the Keystone Pipeline. You look at Gorsuch, who has been confirmed. You look at deregulation policies. You look at foreign policy, which everybody thought Trump was going to be lousy at. It looks like he's catching on to that pretty quick. How can they say these things?
Because they don't live where I live. I'm coming to you from rural America right now in Wausau, Wisconsin. Optimism's up, way up. Every project that was on hold or business was thinking about during the Obama years is now green-lighted. People are feeling good about it. They like that 80% of illegal or 70% illegal crossings down. They like the Gorsuch nomination. They think their gun rights and their religious liberty rights are being protected. I think Donald Trump is doing a pretty good job. But of course, you know, Rome and Trump Tower were not built in a day. Yeah. I mean, this 100-day mark doesn't really mean that much. Well, Brad, it's not only
middle America. Look at what's happening at Broad and Wall Street right now. I mean, we've had an extraordinary explosion in the market over the past couple of days because just the talk, the behind-the-scenes talk about serious tax reform. Are the markets wrong?
Well, no. Look, you had an uptick in the market because Donald Trump took closing the government off the table because he backed down on demanding.
Brad,
he backed down.
Let me finish. Hold on a second,
you
Brad.
asked me a question.
Brad, just the fact is that when you hear just a little whisper of tax reform, that's when the markets spike. It's not because Washington is all getting along now. It's because there is serious tax reform. That's going to lead to bottom line success for corporations. That's what's moving the markets.
But look, we're a long way between one meeting on Capitol Hill today and tax reform getting through. There are a lot of meetings on Capitol Hill.
That's true.
A lot of meetings on Capitol Hill around the president's effort to roll back Obamacare.
Okay. Well, Rachel,
and
I think Brad's right on that
miserably.
I think that Brad brings up a good point. I mean, everybody in Washington loves the status quo, and they love things the way they are. That means for a revolutionary change in the tax code, such as we've been hearing about, that the Trump team wants, there's going to get a lot of pushback from the professionals, the elite inside the Beltway, right?
Right, and that's the great thing about Donald Trump. He's not beholden to these people. None of these people helped him get in office. And let me just say, the 100-day mark, remember we passed the stimulus in the 100-day mark under Obama. We were about to enter the summer of recovery. So remember, we got to put these stupid markers into their proper perspective. I think Donald Trump's doing well. I think the markets and the feeling on the ground in middle America wouldn't be there if they didn't believe that Donald Trump and this Congress is actually going to do tax reform.
Hey, Brad, are any Democrats, I know Democrats at one point were for lowering the corporate tax rate. Are there any Democrats that would still support the president in doing that?
Well, look, I think Democrats will need to see what the president puts on the table. But remember, one of the things he has wanted to tie tax reform to was repealing Obamacare. So if the two of those remain in tandem, repealing Obamacare to get money to provide simply tax breaks to the wealthiest Americans and corporations, I don't think Democrats are going to go along with that.
Rachel, there's some breaking news, which is that a federal judge out in San Francisco has denied the president the right to withdraw federal funds from sanctuary cities. Now, San Francisco was one of the cities that the federal judge was addressing. That federal judge lives in San Francisco. Is there any conflict of interest there?
Yeah, of course. And by the way, this is just full judicial overreach. They're supposed to interpret our laws, not determine how our federal money is being spent. The American people want sanctuary city funding to be removed. If they're not going to, if they're going to have sanctuary cities. And I think Donald Trump is doing exactly what the American people want. And the people who are opposing this are going on the left, are going to pay a price for obstructing here.
We've got some breaking news. I got to cut it at that. Rachel and Brad, thank you very much. Melissa.
Thank you.
Shares of